Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we will be reading chapter 12 of 7th Canto, which is entitled The Perfect Society for Spiritual Classes. So if you're in a position to read today, please raise your hand. Okay, Meena Jatani Mataji, thank you very much. So this is a very short chapter. So, Mother, if you can read the first 5 verses, and we will take it forward from there.
Okay.
Not that way, just 1 second. Default. Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Narad Muni said, a student should practice completely controlling his senses. He should be submissive and should have an attitude of firm friendship for the spiritual master. With a great vow, the brahmachari should live at the Gurukula only for the benefit of the Guru. Text 2. At both junctions of day and night, namely in the early morning and in the evening, he should be fully absorbed in thoughts of the spiritual master, fire, the sun god, and Lord Vishnu, and by chanting the Gayatri mantra, he should worship them. Text 3. Being called by the spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly. Every day, before beginning his studies and at the end of his studies, the disciple should respectfully offer obeisances unto the spiritual master. Text 4. Carrying pure kusha grass in his hand, the brahmachari should dress regularly with a belt of straw and with deerskin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with a sacred thread as recommended in the Shastras. Text 5. The brahmachari should go out morning and evening to collect alms, and he should offer all that he collects to the spiritual master. He should eat only if ordered to take food by the spiritual master. Otherwise, if the spiritual master does not give this order, he may sometimes have to fast. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So in the previous chapter 11, Yudhishthir Maharaj asked about Varnashram Dharma. And so in the previous chapter, Narada Muni described about the Varnas, the 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and their duties have been described in the 11th chapter of 7th Canto. So that's about the Varna. And then now is describing about the ashrama. The rest of the chapters in the 7th Canto have been dedicated for description of these ashrams, means the spiritual orders. Social orders have been described. The spiritual orders consists of different stages of one's life, especially Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. They follow these spiritual orders, which is brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasi, celibate. And then you have that is student life, then you have household life, then retired life, and then renounced order. So um, in this chapter 12, Narada Muni is describing mainly the duties of brahmachari. Brahmachari means, so the student life when one studies in Gurukula under the direction of spiritual master. What are his duties? What are one's duties? And then followed by brahmachari, and then he also talks about vanaprastha, the retired order of life. Hmm? It's a small chapter, so we will try and discuss some of the verses. Meena Mataji has read first 5 verses, which talks about the general duties of a brahmachari student living in Gurukula. Hmm? So some of these things, like, they may not be applicable for today's living, so please bear in mind. Hmm? So the number one is controlling senses, acting only for the benefit of guru, submissiveness to guru like a servant, and whatever he does, he should act uh, for the best interest of guru. Hmm? And worshipping guru is mentioned, and various other demigods, and also Lord Vishnu, and chanting Gayatri mantra regularly. 3 sandhyas are there: morning, afternoon, and evening. And regularly one should study Vedic literature under the guidance of spiritual master, um, and offer respects to guru. um, so should dress in deer skin. um, you know Sacred thread should be worn, matted locks, and carry a pure kusha grass, a rod, water pot, etc. Mm. Another thing is collecting alms in the morning and the evening, and offer it to Guru. So once you collect any funds or any alms, so that is given to Guru. And it is said that, you know, if Guru orders, only then you eat, otherwise you fast. Hmm. Uh, Purely work for in the for uh, purely work under the direction of Guru. Hmm. So yeah, and the next six next 5 verses talks about brahmachari's conduct and dealings with women. Huh? Um, so in text 6, it is said brahmachari should be quite well behaved and gentle, and should not eat or collect more than necessary. Do not collect more than necessary. Mm. And should associate with women only as much as necessary. So should associate with women and those who are controlled by women only as much as necessary. Yeah, so a brahmachari, you know, who has not accepted grihastha ashram must rigidly avoid talking with women, about women, for the senses are so powerful. Yeah, so basically that, the free mixing should be avoided uh, with opposite gender. And the spiritual master's wife is like mother. It's not that only sannyasis acts as spiritual master, but grihasthas also can act as spiritual master. But if the spiritual master wife is young brahmachari should not allow her to care for his hair and massage his body with oil, bathe him with affection like mother. Um, so that is mentioned. Woman is compared to fire, and man is compared to butter pot. This example is given. Prabhupada often quoted. So therefore, a man should avoid associating even with his own daughter in a secluded place. Similarly, he should also avoid the association of other women. One should associate with women only for important business, not otherwise. So Prabhupada writes same thing, like free mixing should be avoided, and when he goes out, begging alms, then he has to associate with opposite gender, but only for that purpose. Sometimes you have to go and beg, so only for that purpose one should associate. Um, and Yeah. So, and then um, 11 to 16, yeah, further details of Brahmacharya ashram are given. So can anybody like to read from 11 to 16? Okay. Meena Mata, you can read.
Prabhuji also had a question. Maybe I can ask in the end.
Oh, sure. Now you can ask, no problem.
Okay. So my question was, you said that the brahmachari must have matted hair and also have a kusha grass belt. Why a kusha grass belt?
So grass belt. Yeah. So the whole principle is, keeping simple. I mean, doesn't decorate very much. The belt, exactly not. I don't know, but kushagrass belt. Then there is water pot also. There is rod also. Belt is just to tighten the lower part.
Kusha grass won't get tightened.
Yeah, I mean the belt is made up of just they will tie a rope
Yeah,
around
maybe.
their waist.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Also when you wear a dhoti, you need some support
yeah,
not to put that inside.
yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji, sorry.
No,
Okay.
these are like but now I don't know, we don't wear anything like that, right?
Yeah. So from text 11?
11 till 16.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. All the rules and regulations apply equally to the householder and the sannyasi, the member of the renounced order of life. Sorry, all the rules and regulations apply equally to the householder and the sannyasi, the member of the renounced order of life. The grihastha, however, is given permission by the spiritual master to indulge in sex during the period favorable for procreation. Text 12. Brahmacharis or grihasthas who have taken the vow of celibacy, as described above, should not indulge in the following: applying powder or ointment to the eyes, massaging the head with oil, massaging the body with the hands, seeing a woman or painting a woman's picture, eating meat, drinking wine, decorating the body with flower garlands, smearing scented ointment on the body, or decorating the body with ornaments. These they should give up. 13 and 14. According to the rules and regulations mentioned above, one who is twice born, namely a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, should reside in the Gurukula under the care of the spiritual master. There he should study and learn all the Vedic literatures along with their supplements and the Upanishads, according to his ability and power to study. If possible, the student or disciple should reward the spiritual master with the remuneration the spiritual master requests, and then, following the master's order, the disciple should leave and accept one of the other ashramas, namely the Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, or Sannyasa ashram, as he desires. Text 15. One should realize that in the fire, in the spiritual master, in one's self, and in all living entities, in all circumstances and conditions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, has simultaneously entered and not entered. He is situated externally and internally as the full controller of everything. Hare Krishna.
16.
16.
As
By
well.
practicing in this way, whether one be in the Brahmachari ashram, Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, or Sannyas ashram, one must always realize the all pervading presence of the Supreme Lord, for in this way it is possible to understand the absolute truth. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. I think that section is also very much self explained. Um, so, all the rules and regulations uh, apply to the householder and the sannyasi, the member of renounced order of life. Um, yeah. So, brahmacharis and grihasthas who have taken a vow of celibacy um, should be they should forbid some of these items, um, decorating their body with ointment, massaging the body and head, or you know eating meat, drinking wine, etc. uh, you know Decorating especially body with flower garlands and smearing scented ointments, etc., should be given up. Being like, this is basically indicating keeping simple. um, and uh, yeah, it is mentioned that the twice born, the higher orders, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, they should reside in Gurukula. This is a system, and they should learn to study Vedic literature under the guidance of spiritual master. Um, and then they should also offer some remuneration to spiritual masters. Um, yeah, so once studied for first 20-25 years, um, it is said that the first 24 years, you study under the um, guidance of spiritual master in Gurukula. Next 25 is household life. So then at 50, ideally one should accept Vanaprastha. Then at 75, one should accept sannyas. This is a general order, but Prabhupada writes that one need not to, after being brahmachari, without entering into grihasthashram, household life, also they can direct become sannyas. They can directly accept sannyas ashram also. Hmm. Prabhupada quotes his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And so he was celibate monk from the birth onwards. I mean, he was, after brahmachari, after being brahmachari, then he did not enter into Grihastha ashram. He directly entered the sannyas ashram. Uh, and it is mentioned that, one should basically realize and see the presence of the Lord in all conditions and in all circumstances. Uh, hmm? So, by trying to realize God in this way, seeing everywhere and in every situation, whoever it may be, whether one may be a brahmachari, grihastha, vanapastha, sannyas, one will be able to perfect their life. Mm. Yeah, so then now Narada Muni talks about the Vanaprastha. So basically, um, first 25 years, um, one accepts as a student life. Then one enters, if they want, then they can enter into Grihasthashram. Grihasthashram again, but um, while I was preparing for this class, so I was thinking what, like, at certain point we should, you know, retired. Uh, you know, the scriptures tell us that ideally we should retire when we are, close to 50. Hmm? Um, the purpose is that, we should give ourselves more, we should engage more in Krishna's service. So I was, thinking while I was reading this chapter that I'm 53 now. So maybe, I should also slowly um, wind down, retire sooner. So that is the thought that I got while I was preparing for this class. Um, yeah. So we have to decide because there is no end to it. So the main aim is that we should free ourselves from this this routine work and engage ourselves. Um, so pray for me, Meena Jetani Mataji. Um, so hopefully, I was thinking maybe another 2 years. So it's Krishna's mercy, but definitely I got inspired while I was reading this chapter. Um, yeah. So now Narada Muni talks about Vanaprastha, a retired life. So, and what are the duties of Vanaprastha? Huh? Um, yeah. Um, they are given from text 17 to 31, but we can read a few verses each time. Um, 18 to 23. So, yeah, by rigidly following the rules of Vanaprastha, one who has retired from the family life, one can easily be elevated to Maharloka, uh, uh, to the higher, one of the higher planetary system. Uh, hmm. So the general duties of Vanaprastha, the retired person, or um, should not eat grains grown by tilling of the field. So ideally, vanaprastha, vana means, ideally you live in the forest. Mm. So that is not possible these days. No problem. You can stay at home and engage. in Krishna service, spend more time uh, in reading scriptures, or if you live close by a temple who have a facility for you to offer some service, you can go and live there and offer some service there. Um, or if you have some already Lakshmi accumulated, you can also offer that Lakshmi to that particular temple. I don't know, in UK we don't have this system, but in India, there are some centers, they have this system. They can accommodate grihasthas also, full-time grihasthas. Mm. um, should not eat grains cooked in fire. Should eat only fruit ripened by the sunshine. Mm. Uh, but for us, again, because we are not going to live in the forest, we need not to be so much worried about that. We can cook and offer to Krishna and eat prasadam. Mm. Um, so there are a number of things that have been mentioned here, but they feel that you feel that we would not be able to follow anything closer to that. Mm. One point: should give up the old stocks of grain when he obtains some new grains. So that means not to accumulate too much. Mm. Should make a cottage or stay in a cave, so only to keep the sacred fire. Should practice enduring snowfall, wind, fire, rain, and other heat of the sun. So basically, yeah, so one should sustain the summer and winter seasons. Mm. And one should learn to tolerate these external situations and continue to render devotion to the Lord. Mm. And it is said that mm, should wear again matted locks. That means not grooming and decorating the body. Um, and one should grow mustache, and also should not cleanse one's body of dirt. This one, if when there is dirt on the body, you should leave it. Mm. Should keep water pot, deer skin, rod, etc. Mm. Mm. Should remain in forest for 12 years, 8 years, 4 years, 2 years, or at least 1 year. Mm. So this way one develops some detachment. And I've seen sometimes some devotees come to our temple and they take a vow. Prabhu, you know, I take a vow that I stay. One devotee last time, he took a vow to stay in our temple for 3 years. Now we have one devotee who had taken a vow to remain in our temple for 2 years and serve this temple. Mm. So for us, this is fine. Yeah, should not be disturbed by too much austerity. Yeah. So should fast when unable to perform prescribed duties due to disease or old age. Mm. So a vanaprastha is recommended to fast when he is unable to perform austerities. Mm. And so the rest of the chapter then describes the actions one should do before fasting. Mm. So eventually, when you are not able to digest the food, then one is advised to, in at advanced stage, one is not able to digest the food properly. uh, so at that time, yeah, one should you should practice fasting and not taking any food, and eventually one should prepare oneself to give up one's body. And how one should try to give up one's body is mentioned in the later, in the later verses. Basically, there are these bodies, there are gross elements and subtle elements. The gross elements, such as, the gross part of the body is made up by these five elements like earth, water, fire, air, ether. Say, for example, the holes in the body are caused by the sky, ether. Uh, and the breathing is caused by the air. The heat of the body is caused by the fire. Blood, mucus, etc., the liquid parts of the body are caused by water. The hard substances such as skin, muscle, bone, caused by the earth. So it is said that these elements, we should merge into those elements. Mm. And the subtle elements, various subtle elements, should also be merged in the nature. And mm, so that's how one gives up one's body. uh, when all the material designations have thus merged in their respective material elements, the living beings were all ultimately completely spiritual. Being one in quality with the Supreme Being should cease from material existence as flame ceases when the wood in which they are burning is consumed. When the material body is returned to its various material elements, only the spiritual being remains. This spiritual being is Brahman, and uh, is equal in quality with uh, the Supreme Lord. Mm. So this is how this chapter ends. It's a very short chapter. Um, so most of you are anyway aware of the duties of brahmachari and vanaprastha. So in this particular chapter, um, Narada Muni talks about the duties and the conduct of brahmachari, and also the general duties of vanaprastha, and the rules for giving up body for a vanaprastha. Hmm? Um, so, yeah, for us, anyway, so none of us are brahmacharis, but we are all grihasthas. So, and at some point for us is that we should, you know, take some time off. We should, plan our life and retire, and offer more time for Krishna. But if that is not possible, do what you can do. You know, um, just offer. I know that you're all working, but yet, on a Thursday night, you're able to make this time for Krishna. um, so that is great. So ideally, we should give more time for Krishna at certain time, certain part of our life. We should, stop doing certain, you know, mm, duties, the material duties. Uh, yeah, retired, basically retire, and should not work until the last breath. So that is the point. Yeah, so this is it. This is a very simple chapter, and we need not to go to the forest. What we can do is, as I mentioned, we can stay we can go to pilgrimage, spend some time there, or spend some time in temples, Prabhupada temples, offer some service. Uh, yeah, so that's it really. This is a very short chapter, and we will stop here. And so next week, Krishna willing, will continue with the next chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Arya Devi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. At the start it said that you should recite the Gayatri as well. But I know in ISKCON and stuff, I didn't know this previously, but it says you should only recite if allowed to do so by Guru, and Mahamantra is like enough for all of us anyway. What are the rules? Like, is it you should avoid, or?
Okay, so yeah, so very good question. Mahamantra is sufficient, um, but traditionally, the brahmacharis, um, when they are in Gurukula, they are also given Gayatri mantra and a sacred thread. Usually, the first three ashramas, three varnas, yeah, um, three varnas such as Brahman, Vaishya, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These three, uh, varnas, they accept this. They follow this strictly. They have their guru. Mm. Shudras do not, may or may not follow this, but the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, they used to follow the system of ashramas, spiritual orders, brahmachari, grihastha, and then vanaprastha, sannyas. So when they were they were studying in Gurukula, they used to be offered Gayatri, a sacred thread, and at the same time, they were given this Gayatri mantra. Hmm. Um, but as you rightly said in ISKCON, the Gayatri mantra is also given after the first initiation. If one wants one be given Gayatri mantra. Prabhupada actually, why he gave this Gayatri? Prabhupada said actually the Hare Krishna mantra is enough, but some of the caste brahmanas in India, they were, they were saying that, they were talking about this, that you are not allowed to worship the deity, etc. You are not brahmanas like that. So Prabhupada, for the deity worship, he introduced this Gayatri. And then he was giving Gayatri mantra and a thread. So, but I know many devotees who have not taken the second initiation, and they are still chanting Hare Krishna mantra. That is absolutely fine. Hare Krishna mantra will be sufficient. Gayatri, mainly the second initiation, Prabhupada introduced mainly for the deity worship. Ideally, if one is doing a deity worship, one should have that sacred thread and, and chant the Gayatri mantra 3 times and three sandhyas, morning, afternoon, and evening. But if you have not received second initiation, you are absolutely fine to remember. One should remember it, the spiritual master, morning, afternoon, and evening. Jayam stuvam strasya yasyasi sandhyam, three sandhyas. one should remember. So, to answer your question, there is no need to definitely, Prabhupada said that there is no need. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra would be sufficient. But that was the general olden system that was there in the Gurukula. Hmm? Does it answer, Arya Devi?
Yeah, that helps. But if you're in a situation where there's like I don't know, congregational chanting, and they also for that reason also do Gayatri in there, should you like avoid saying it as well if you're not second initiated, etc.? Or
I mean, if you're not second initiated, you don't do Gayatri mantra.
yeah, so you should not say it.
So would it be
No.
a sin in that case, Prabhuji, to
I mean,
recite?
see, there is no sin. Actually, Prabhupada said this, this in ISKCON, we are given 7 Gayatri mantras, not one. So the famous one everybody knows, Prabhupada said that we should not, Gayatri mantra should be chanted silently. According to the scriptures, each mantra has got certain rules and regulations, how one should chant. Say for Hare Krishna mantra, you can utter loudly. Whereas the Gayatri mantras, one should not, I know that in India we have this system, but in our sampradaya, we were told that Gayatri mantra should be chanted silently, should not be uttered loudly. Okay? And ideally, this Gayatri mantra or any mantra, it will be more effective when one receives through parampara. Am I making sense? Ideally, we should receive it and then we chant it. No harm. Chanting a mantra is not any harm, but especially, Hare Krishna mantra for us, such as Hare Krishna mantra, there are no rules and regulations. It can be chanted at any time of the day, in any condition. You get up from the bed, you chant also, no problem. But Gayatri, ideally, you should be clean. And Gayatri, we usually chant during the Sandhya time. Sandhya, morning 6, afternoon 12, and evening 6. But Prabhupada has given some variation, morning 6 to 9 and evening 12 to 3, and then evening 6 to 9, something like that. There is a specified period. So if I hope I answered your question. So there is no need to chant that mantra if you have not received it. You can just chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Also, please remember that there are some rules and regulations for chanting mantras. So in ISKCON, we are given 7 Gayatri mantra, not just one. One everybody knows, that is called Brahma Gayatri. But we are also given additional 6 mantras. So we chant 3 times a day. But Hare Krishna mantra is more than sufficient for us.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari Hari. Okay, Meena Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Hari
Hare
Hari.
Krishna.
Hi, Prabhuji. I got a question as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like when we go to some of the religious programs and we do all sorts of mantras, like Gayatri mantra and other mantras as well. So we should not actually chant those mantras when, like, as per you, we should keep it like not follow the process. We just only do Hare Krishna mantra only.
So because Meena Mataji mentioned, and also Arya was mentioning, because how should I say? When everybody chants in the temple, say in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening, they chant, especially when you attend Mangalarti in ISKCON temple, the devotees, they take a little break, like, at 6 o'clock or some point, they chant Gayatri Mantra. But they don't chant loudly. So when in that condition, Arya was asking that should you also chant? So I said not required for you. You continue, like when you attend Mangalarti, continue to chant
We
Hare
just
Krishna.
keep quiet, like when they chant this mantra.
Yeah, when they chant this loudly in any religious ceremony, I know in Indian
Yeah,
system,
we do go
they,
to bhajans and everything, and
yeah,
they
yeah, they
do.
they yeah, they chant this Gayatri mantra very loudly.
Yeah.
It's okay if there is, I mean, there is no harm in chanting just one time like that. But yeah, so Prabhupada said that ideally, are like, I remember that we should not chant it loudly. So if they chant loudly, you chant it in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the strength of the mantra or something?
Yeah,
Why is it like
ideally,
that?
I mean, see, each mantra has got, there are certain rules and regulations for
Mm-hmm.
different mantras, right? And as I mentioned, Mataji, please remember that the mantra is more effective when one is received through Guru.
Guru. Okay.
Always. Mm, even though, we know, say, Hare Krishna mantra, but we wanted to receive it through Guru, like that.
Mm, okay.
Hmm?
All
Uh,
right. Thank you.
so generally, when you attend a religious ceremony once or twice, chanting a mantra, that's okay. But you don't chant that on a regular basis. The mantra, that you want to chant regularly on a regular basis. Yeah. So better accept a guru and chant the mantra given by guru. And but Prabhupada openly said we all can chant Hare Krishna mantra. So on that basis, we can continue to chant Hare Krishna mantra and then accept a guru. Okay.
So just avoid, just stick to Hare Krishna mantra, just in easy terms, better to just avoid.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So you can stick to Hare Krishna mantra. But if you're in a religious ceremony, people are chanting, you can utter in your mind. That's okay. Okay. So Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Nitai
Sure.
Gaura Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari.